Welcome to day one of our two-part lesson on the Roman Colosseum. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed your video on the Colosseum and all of its architectural amazements and the different uses and hypothetical uses. What we're going to do today is first a walk through the Colosseum, and I will lead the way through this virtual reality simulated tour of the ancient remains, and you guys will help me on this tour when you point out things that you found interesting, noted in the video, or when you yourself ask questions that help us engage with the space. Once we get through our tour of the ruins, we're going to add a layer and go into a simulation. You'll partner up and you'll end up in different locations of the Colosseum, allowing you to explore the space on your own with guided prompts and questions. You'll have quizzes as you go, which will unlock new rooms and give you codes. And once you've made it through all the design spaces, you'll end up in the Imperial box, and that will end our time for the day. So let's put on our headsets and head down to Rome. Here's the Colosseum as it stands in modern times, a ruin of its former grand self. Let's go ahead and jump on inside here. And as we walk around this amazing space and observe all the different aspects of it, why don't you guys be sure that you pull out your bingo card and keep track of all the different terms and items that we talk about. The first person to fill out their bingo card will get an extra credit point on the next exam. One of the most interesting things about the Colosseum, and hopefully you guys found this in the video, is that it actually had a retractable roof. And here in the wonderful world of virtual reality, we can actually fly up to the roof of the building and see where the ropes would be attached, from which a mast, similar to a mast of a sail, would be extended and drawn back to provide shade for the audience members. As we move up and down the stairs of the Colosseum, keep in mind that there was very strict seating arrangements for the events, with women at the very top, slaves just below them, the middle class below them, and the richest and wealthiest individuals closest to the action. Whenever you go on your scavenger hunt, and whenever you create your own gladiator game, be sure you keep these seating arrangements in mind and how that might change or affect the experience of the viewer. Now let us partner up, and you guys are going to enter into a simulated world of virtual reality. What we have here is decades of research conducted by classicists and Roman historians and architectural historians, and they've recreated the world of the Colosseum as it was in the Empire. What you all have is an assignment with your partner. You will enter into one of the various rooms or parts of the Colosseum, and in each of these parts you will answer a series of questions and learn about the different aspects of that part. Once you have explored all of the tidbits that you can find in each section, you will then unlock a quiz. You quickly take the quiz, and once you pass it, you can move on to the next room. Also, when you pass the quiz, you will get a code. Once you have gone through all 5 of the rooms, you will ultimately end up in the Imperial box. And you will need these clues, the codes, to unlock your next assignment. So please keep track of them as you go. Some of you will start off here on the outside of the Colosseum, a very active space, as each of these festival days was filled with processions and poets and songs and a general celebration, because these were always holidays from work. Some of you will start off in the immense hallways that are such a notable feature of the Colosseum, and here you will study the architecture, the use of groin vaults and barrel vaults, and of the different building materials. And some of you will start off in the stands themselves, and you will learn all about the different experiences of people watching these games and what a raucous and rowdy kind of event that it would be. As we looked through the ruins, it was difficult to imagine that at one point those seats would have been filled with at least 50,000 people, all of whom would be yelling and possibly fighting or eating food and other things. As you enter into these rooms, you'll get notes as you click on the man cooking there in the stands, and you'll learn that food was a major feature of spectacles. We know that they dined on dates and smoked meats as well as other fruits. You would also see that gambling was a must at the games, and frequently such endeavors would lead to fighting in the stands and outside of it. We even hear of a riot that took place at the amphitheater in Pompeii. Some of you might start off in the arena itself, and in this space you can explore the different kinds of events that took place on the floor, whether they were the gladiators fighting, or the beast hunts, or even the public executions that happened to be the lunchtime entertainment. You'll also learn that the word arena comes from the Latin word sand, which was used to soak up the blood from these very gory events. And then some of you will wind up in the substructures below the arena floor, where in the Colosseum we have an elaborate complex of tunnels and hallways and chambers where the gladiators would wait before the fight, but also wild animals would be kept up until it was time for them to be released. They would be pulled up on elevators and then released through trap doors in the arena floor. Once you've moved through all of these different rooms, discovered all there is to discover, and completed all of the quizzes, you will then find yourself entering into the Imperial Box. Once you enter into the Imperial Box, you will enter the code accumulated from the quizzes, and you and your partner will be given an emperor. You could get the Great Domitian, one of the original founders of the Colosseum, or perhaps the Greek lover Hadrian. Maybe the Emperor Commodus, made famous in the movie Gladiator, or perhaps the soldier Emperor Caracalla. Or maybe even the first Christian emperor, Constantine, who also had a great love of the games. Each group will get one of these emperors and 2 groups per emperor. So you will find your other group totaling 4 people for each emperor. The prompt will also include with it the circumstances of the empire during this time. Your assignment for the evening will be to consider your chosen emperor and to read the chapter given to you from the textbook by Kyle, Sport and Spectacle in the Roman Empire. Please take note of how the various emperors used spectacle and especially gladiatorial fighting as a means of pursuing a political agenda and even as a means of propaganda. When we come together tomorrow, you and your partners, you and your group, for a total of 4, will work at our computer tables, and with the virtual simulation, you will design your own game, or game that your emperor would throw. You need to be sure you determine the number of days of the game, why you were throwing them, who you would invite, what kind of contest you would have, and so on. And so by the end of class tomorrow, you will have created a spectacle of your emperor's own, and you'll be able to present to the rest of the class the decisions that you have made based on our readings and your understanding of the space of the Colosseum and how it is used. Thank you.